All right, today we're going to be talking about arb arbitraging and my response to this video from Climbing Crypto. Check out his channel. He's only got 313 subscribers, but if you're into arbitrage, that's predominantly what he talks about right now. So go check out his channel. He did a rebuttal video on one of my videos, and I'm going to talk about my response to his rebuttal video. And I watched his video, and the main reason I decided to respond, I didn't care about, like he doesn't change my mind in this video, and I'll explain. We'll go over what he talks, and I think we can agree to disagree, he and I. He's a very reasonable person. Two things made me want to respond. First off, he was able to disagree with what I had to say without taking it personal. So many people get all crazy and personal and, oh, you don't like my coin, you know, you're a horrible person, you know, and such nonsense. There's been threats in YouTube space, and guys show that, you know, some of them are idiots. That's just the bottom line. Anybody who threatens somebody else because they don't like their YouTube project, that's dumb. But he doesn't do that at all. He just basically, he's, you know, clear and concise. He expresses his thoughts, and I will give my responses to that. And here's the other thing. He has a small channel, and I like the way he carried out himself in this video. So come check out Climbing Crypto. Come check out his channel, especially if you're into arbitraging. I do think arbitraging will end. That is my biased opinion. The keyword there is biased. But that is my biased opinion, and I think this gentleman is going to be hopefully a good addition to the cryptocurrency space. The way that he conducts his videos and his explanation of simply disagreeing with what I'm saying without making it personal is phenomenal. Hats off to him. By the way, I heard him say project. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. He's Canadian. That's awesome. I have several friends that are Canadian. In fact, I was just the best man at a buddy of mine's wedding who's Canadian. And then I came down here. Was it down here I saw it? I was like, yep, definitely Canadian. Oh, I saw it somewhere. Somewhere I saw using. Somewhere I thought I saw the way he was purchasing Bitcoin or something. I saw him reference somewhere in the comments. I thought it was on this video that he was Canadian. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. But I'm going to get to this here in a moment. I wanted to make two more videos, and I just don't have time. So I want to just hit a couple things before I get into this video. The first of all is this, Midas. I told you in my last video I was going to break down to a full review of the Midas investment platform. I am going to do that. So stay tuned if you are interested in earning passive income through masternodes, which are real blockchain projects that are verifiable with a blockchain and through multiple sites. You're not earning a random passive income. However, they can be very risky, but I'll explain that in another video. So subscribe to my channel if you want to see that and hear more about Midas investments and how I choose masternodes to invest in. I'll be discussing that in another video. I'll put an affiliate link down below as well if you'd like to support my channel and you want to get started with Midas investments. Also, I wanted to point this out really quickly. FOMO 3D, this is very interesting. Many of you know, if you've been following my channel for some time, I invest in P3D, Proof of Weak Hands 3D, which is a smart contract. And they have a game, FOMO 3D, which is one of many games, but this game is a historic. And it's fascinating because it's picking up steam. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. There was this article on Medium. I'll read the article really quickly just to give you an idea of what's going on. FOMO 3D round 9 has been going for 79 days and is currently mooning. Remember FOMO 3D? Round 1 ending was pure insanity. Here's an article I wrote during the round giving a brief rundown of how to play. I'll put this article down below in the description so you can read it yourself. And you can click on the links. Its ending resulted in the largest win in Ethereum history. Someone from this address won 10,000 Ether, worth 2.7 million at the time, which is undoubtedly the largest Ethereum jackpot to date. That's the largest legitimate on-chain jackpot in DApp history. Cool stuff. How high will this round go? Remember, it'll take everyone a couple of days to realize the first one has ended. Lead designer at Team Just. Vitalik himself, the father of Ethereum, used one of his public wallets to purchase a small amount of keys for round 2 after round 1's climatic end. A tip of the hat to Team Just for the anarchy that they had created on his blockchain, and the most spectacular and viral DApp to date to showcase the possibilities of smart contracts. Rounds 2 through 8 were exciting as well, but got shorter and shorter as increase waned from the sheer amount of FOMO, fear of missing out, clones that frantically flooded the DApp space due to the transparent nature of how trustless smart contracts work. Others were desperate to duplicate the madness. The clones came, underperformed, and faded into obscurity, while FOMO kept functioning as it has a dedicated community behind it and developers with big plans for the future. This brings us to round 9, which is currently on its 79th day. Close to 3 months, and recently hit the requirement of 100 ETH paid into the round, which removes the 1 ETH cap buy. So before 100 ETH is invested into a round, the most any one person can put in is 1 ETH. There's a cap of 1 ETH until 100 ETH has been put in. The balance has been going up drastically since. This is a screenshot I took 2 days ago of the jackpot balance. It had 37 Ethereum in the jackpot. Here's one from yesterday. All of a sudden 78 Ethereum. And as of this writing, 86 Ethereum. And I'm going to show you where it's at right now. Remember, the jackpot amount only represents 20 to 43% based on the team you choose of the ETH going in. The rest is paid out in dividends to current key holders. Read the complete rundown of the rules in the official FOMO wiki. Again, I'll link this article down below so you can see how the game is played. Here's how much ETH has gone into the round so far and the amount already paid out to dividends to previous buyers. So there's been a total of 350 ETH in. Distributed rewards of 263 has been distributed to key holders in the form of dividends in this game. Join the Team Just Discord, the largest, most active crypto gaming community in existence. Join in the madness. It is madness. And this community, by the way, is currently why they're in round 9. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, why they're in round 9. There are only a few requirements to play, and then they go through that, and they talk. That's just advertisement. Okay, that's the end of it. So it is speculated, it is highly speculated that round 1, which won 10,000 Ethereum, round 1 ended due to some sort of bots clogging up the Ethereum network. And I don't fully understand all of it. My brain's not that technical to follow it. But that was the big speculation for round 1, that there was a bot that got involved. And I think that caused a lot of people to kind of shy away from FOMO for a while. Plus all the other speculation, all the other clones on other platforms, etc. However, when round 9 started, and I was following in the Discord, there was several in there. You purchase keys to reset the clock, basically. By the way, it's up to 91 ETH, 91.8 right now, the jackpot is. And basically, the last person to buy a key wins. But every person who buys a key, like if someone buys a key after you, there's dividends earned for holding keys. And again, I'll put this link down below. You can read the whole link. You can come down here and look at the, where's it at? The FOMO wiki and read the complete rundown of the rules. But the basics are, when you buy a key, it resets the clock. The last person who buys a key, it's kind of like hot potato. Last person who buys a key when the clock runs to 0 wins the jackpot. Everyone else but the winner, meaning if you buy keys and there's 10,000 keys purchased behind you, you earn small dividends from those keys purchased. The price of the keys go up incrementally, but the price of the keys are super cheap, 0.0003 ETH right now. And they go up, they're super cheap. So in the community right now, there's a bunch of people that were like, it's like the war against the bots is the whole idea. And they're basically playing right now. They're like, we're not gonna let the bots win. We're never gonna let round 9 end. And they literally, there's 2 or 3 of them that are literally on clock watch. And anytime this thing drops too low, they buy keys. And they keep buying keys to keep the round going. And so there was at one point in the smart contract, there was 140. There's been at least two ETH buy-ins over 100 Ethereum. Of course, again, only 20 to 40% of that comes to the jackpot. The rest, depending on the team that depending on what team you choose, etc. And you can read that again, the rundown of the FOMO quick. But it's very fascinating because it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, if it goes any further. I am watching. I did buy a few keys just to watch it. I bought like not a lot of keys. I'm just watching to see if there's a return. I'm just watching, playing. It's fun to watch it. And all this interacts with the P3D contract. Again, you can get more details by looking at the FOMO quick in this article. And I'll put that, the FOMO wiki, and I'll put that in this article. All right. Now, what you came for. So, Climbing Crypto made this video about arbitrage, and I made a video first, and he rebutted it. So let's just, I made some notes. I watched the whole video, made some notes on his, and let's just take a look at what he says.
Climbing Crypto here. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about this guy here and why.
By the way, this is the most impressive screen of the whole video, and I'll talk about that at the end of my video. He'll bring this screen back up, and I'll talk about it.
I personally don't care if he apologizes or not. It's not something. This is not the agenda of my video.
So just to catch you up, if you don't know, basically I said that Arb was going to exit scam from by January 31st. I said that back in December. And then a day or two before January, into January, people were commenting like, oh, you owe Arb an apology. They have an exit scammed. And in this video, I basically talked about, I don't know that they ever functioned normally since I made the video. You know, if I haven't, I think it's actually an exit scam in progress now. Like, that was my opinion. And this is his response to what I said. He said that I was factually wrong in a few areas, and this is his response.
I do want to point out a lot of the claims and the misled kind of points that he's saying in his video, and I'm gonna rebuttal all of them. So this guy here, Crypto Wealth, he made this video, Arbitraging, Should I Apologize?
By the way, good job climbing crypto. Oh, never mind. That's mine. I thought, is he using, oh yeah, is he? Yeah. He's using TubeBuddy. That's awesome. Good job climbing crypto for using TubeBuddy. If you're building a YouTube channel, TubeBuddy is almost a must-have tool. I'll put a link to, it's an affiliate link to TubeBuddy down in the description. You'll be supporting my channel if you're building a YouTube video and you're using TubeBuddy. All right.
Bro, that's up to you. I mean, I'm not here to tell you to apologize, but I did want to speak about some of these people who are putting out videos that really have holes in their knowledge and are making rash judgment based on really not knowing much. Now, I wanted to preface the video by saying, I got a buddy of mine who's in arbitraging. He's been in arbitraging for maybe 6-7 months. And he reminded me, he said, listen, the reason why this whole thing happened was not because David all of a sudden put the exchange in place from his own volition. The community urged David to come up with a solution of what was happening within arbitraging and the A-bot, okay? Before the exchange, the block exchange was put into place, people were like gaming the system. There'd be like more than a few guys on each side, on the sell side, on the buy side, and they were shooting the price up and tanking the token, and then going into A-bot at a inflated price.
Okay, so before we go there, he says that the community, see, here's the thing. He's going to talk about a principle here in a minute. I'll wait till he gets there to talk about his principle, but his principle explanation is I think it's wrong. It really just comes down to bias. I'm biased. I'm not in this platform, but I have witnessed so many of these things over time, even outside of crypto. I mean, over the years, as a young man in college, I have watched things like this come and go, and they all follow a very similar pattern. And that's why I am extremely biased now. You know, originally I was kind of 60-40. I've always wanted to believe that something like this could work. I've always wanted to believe, always. I even created my own bot. I've never discussed it on my channel. I've created my own bot in the Forex market that worked for a while. I didn't sell it, obviously. I did sell, that's not true. I did sell signals to it for a while until it started not working. Then we stopped. And I didn't sell many of those signals. I sold like 4. I had no publicity. I was just running it, and it ran well for a little while, a few weeks, and then it stopped running, and it was like, oh crap. And what's crazy is I'm kind of glad that it stopped working, because I actually had a buddy of mine who was a financial advisor that was really impressed with how the bot was running, and he was looking to bring in some of his clients. And like, I was getting excited. I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's going to create a win-win. You know, we all win from the bot, and I'm going to win from these, you know, clients who are going to be purchasing signals, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't work. It collapsed, which was kind of a hard thing to experience, but it did happen. And since then, I have paid attention to bots over time. I mean, I still am looking. By the way, I know there's Crypto Hopper and some other ones out there. I'm looking for a bot right now. I would like to take a portion of my BTC, put it on Binance, and trade it through a bot. And the reason that I like bots, here's what I know about bots. First of all, no bot yet has ever worked. The longest running bot is one. And I don't even know if it's technically a bot, but it was an algorithmic trading platform through, I think it's called Black and Scholes. Here, I'm gonna look it up for you. I mean, people act like I'm new to this space. Like it's laughable because they make assumptions because they don't know. The reality is I have had far more experience in trading than bots and this platform for well over a decade and a half, longer than many of these guys have even been adults. But that's okay, I get it. I mean, we're all biased and we all have our biases. But hang on just one moment, I'm gonna show you something.
And that type of thing. And
sorry, hang on. Okay, you can go look up long-term capital management. It was basically, they were following the Black-Scholes model. There's Scholes, the guy with last name Black was passed away. These guys actually, Black-Scholes model. These guys actually got a Nobel Prize in economics, I believe it was, for their model. This is one of the most successful algorithmic trading strategies that has ever existed. But even this one ended up collapsing, and you could argue a lot of things. It was basically due to leverage and a downturn in the market. Yes, all that's correct. However, if you know the end of the story, they actually, some of them came back and created a new fund using much less leverage, and it still continued to lose money. But for a long time it worked, and it worked really, really well. In fact, here's a chart of their returns. Historically, no one has ever been able to create a trading bot that can trade every market condition all the time, period. Even arbitraging bots. Arbitraging bots fail because of something known as slippage. Hang on one moment and I'll get you some info on slippage. Okay, so let's talk about what is slippage, because this is the #1 issue with arbitraging. Slippage refers to the difference between the expected price of a trade and the price at which the trade is actually executed. Slippage often occurs during periods of high volatility when market orders are used, and also when here's the key, large orders are executed, when there may not be enough interest at the desired price level to maintain the expected price of a trade. So let me try to give you an example of what this would look like. Now, come over to Crypto Bridge because it's easy to see on a decentralized exchange. And I think this is Monero and BTC, I think. Yeah. So let's just assume for a moment that you saw an arbitraging opportunity here. And you wanted to buy, I don't know, our arbitrage shows, tens of thousands of Ethereum. So let's just say that equates to, I'm just giving you an example. Let's just say you got, I don't know, 50 BTC, for example, that you wanted to buy and you're trying to buy. Well, the current price is probably listed here, right? But if you start buying, watch what happens. If you start buying, then you're going to have to buy this one. You're going to have to buy this one. Actually, I guess you could come to the sell orders. You would end up, because either all the people selling. So you got 10 BTC. You would end up buying this one. You'd end up buying this one. You'd end up buying this one. And as you buy these, notice the price. You're driving the price up. You got to buy this one. You got to buy this one. So you started out looking at this price, but by the time you get your, BTC all purchased 40, if you had, right here's a little over 31, 32 BTC, the price would have moved. So you're never going to get in at this price. What would end up happening is you would average basically the total price that you've got, and it's going to be somewhere around here because of these two big orders. So slippage is price movement. Whenever you have slippage like this, it's harder to be able to earn a profit in the market. And this is what people don't understand about arbitraging and arb. The bigger and the more successful quote unquote arb is, the more money that they're supposed to be arbitraging, if they are, the less the returns would naturally be. That is how markets work, period, end of story. I don't care what exotic arbitraging they're doing, the returns have to decrease. They have to, as it does not scale linearly. It does not scale in a linear fashion. That's important. And by the way, that's true for just about every investment strategy. None of them scale in a linear fashion, but that's neither here nor there. So arbitraging exists, bots exist. Yes, absolutely. Do they exist like this? I I don't think so. Let's continue to listen to what he has to say.
It was documented that David actually caught a few of these guys and actually talked to them in person, or let's say, however he did it on Telegram or email or whatever, and locked their accounts.
That's really weird. So basically, people are buying and selling. He claims there's a group of people, and they're buying high and selling low, and they're moving the price, and they're probably using slippage essentially to their favor with the actual ABOT price. I don't fully understand that, and someone please can explain in the comments, because why does that matter? Why does the ABOT price should ultimately fluctuate independently based off of ABOT performance? ABOT price cannot and should not be a direct measure of the ABOT performance. But if the price goes down temporarily and the ABOT continues to perform well, why are we trying to control the price of the ABOT? That is really weird. Why would that be set up? And if that somehow is an issue, why would it ever be set up that way? If you knew that the price could be easily manipulated and that somehow would affect your function of your ABOT, which I don't even understand why that matters and how that works. I mean, it's not even clear. No one ever has explained that. It doesn't make sense that the arbitraging price is somehow directly related to the arb price is somehow directly related to the performance of the ABOT. I mean, again, that just doesn't make sense. And if that was the case, why not just fix the arb price at a flat $5 or $10? Don't let it move. I mean, I don't even know why you would need an ARB token at that point. And that's really the issue here. Do you need an ARB token to be able to run this bot? I mean, newsflash, arbitraging community. Do you realize there are already cryptocurrencies that exist? There's actually a masternode currency coming out right now where they are doing arbitraging with a bot successfully. They claim, I'm not saying that they are doing this, I'm saying they claim this, okay? They claim to successfully have gotten about 3,000% since the end of last year in their current arbitraging model. You can invest in their token, which their token is not related to their arbitraging success, basically. Their token is just related to the actual business model in and of itself, and somehow they're using their profits from the trading to buy the token back. They're using the token to fund their trading, and then they're going to take their profits from trading and buy back the token, ideally, is what they're claiming. I don't necessarily know that I like that model. I don't necessarily know that it works, but the point being is there are models out there where the token price is independent of the bot trading, and people are doing bot trading, and it's fully transparent and that sort of thing. And again, all right, let's keep going.
So he wanted to remind me of that. It wasn't David's, he didn't just say, okay, I'm going to create this exchange, this different exchange now because I'm going to exit.
By the way, how do they know David, how do they know the community wanted this? Because there was a vote. That vote is not fully transparent. That vote can be rigged, gamed, any way you want it to be. Anybody can put up a vote. Anybody, if you have enough capabilities to be able to, I'm not certain if they show the results after every vote, but that can be gamed and rigged as well, period. I mean, to me, it makes sense that if you want to direct a market a certain place, then you get people to feel like that the community wanted this. I know when everyone was complaining about the block exchange, there were some ARB YouTubers, people that were in ARB saying, hey, we disagree with this, but David keeps telling us that the community wants it, and he keeps telling us his feedback is 50-50. The irony is at the time, almost all of the arbitraging YouTubers were saying they had a problem with it. So it was fascinating because it was like, well, where are the YouTubers coming out saying, hey, we love this model? It just didn't happen. So, I mean, yes, maybe people didn't like the fact the price was being manipulated as they felt it was being manipulated. Then maybe they wanted something done about it, but clearly the block exchange wasn't the correct way to fix it. But I digress.
As you'll see in the video where he talks like how the new exchange was an exit scam. I mean, come on, how elaborate of an exit scam and how stupid of an exit scam did you want to imagine, right? So anybody who knows about deductive reasoning will know this thing here, Occam's razor.
All right, so let's talk about this for a moment because he uses this term. I've never heard of it. Don't care. The bottom line is biased. So Occam's razor is a principle from philosophy. Suppose there exist two explanations for an occurrence. In this case, the one that requires the least speculation is usually the better. Another way of saying it is that the more assumptions you have to make, the more unlikely an explanation. I think that is perfect explanation from my very biased standpoint, and he would obviously agree differently. But we have to make assumptions about a bot existing. It's never been proven to exist. There are no hard facts to prove that it exists. Yes, bots exist. There are other companies that can prove their existence all day long. He talks about NovaChain, I think it is, that he mentions. Yep, NovaChain proves they have a bot. Bots exist. But how come they've never, ever been able to show a shred of discernible evidence? What they can do is they can show you circumstantial proof that if you're biased to want to believe it, you can believe it. They can show you some big moves in a Ethereum wallet. And if you see those big moves, you can think, well, that has to be a bot. But there's no proof that a bot's making those moves. None. You just have to assume. That is the number one biggest issue here. What company would operate this way? I mean, the genius that it takes to create this bot, yet the horrible management running of the company, the intelligence does not align. I mean, David Peterson, or whoever he is, has to be the most intellectual, smartest human being on the planet to grasp. He's only been in crypto 14 months. And he's never had any bot trading experience ever that he's mentioned or that you can find publicly about him at all. He has had business success. That can be proven. He's been able to build business, launch products. Yes, that can be proven. Great job. Way to go. That's awesome. But he's never had any sort of algorithmic development experience, period, that I'm aware of. And if I'm wrong, someone show me down in the comments. However, he's a genius. He creates or hires someone to create the most incredible trading bot that the world has ever known. And that cannot be understated. In order for this bot to perform the way they expect, it has to be the greatest bot the world has ever known. And yet they don't choose to profit off of it themselves. He rented a really nice house that he doesn't currently live in. And, clearly he enjoys some of the nicer things in life. But he chooses to share the wealth. Okay, I can buy into that. I can buy into that. But is it worth the headaches of dealing with the people and the naysayers and the fudders and the people complaining about this and that, and the Telegram groups and the complaints that you see documented from the Telegram groups? Is it worth dealing with it? Why not just keep those profits for yourself? Why share them? Why run the legal risk? Because he's in such legal risk that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about the fact that it's very possible he currently is in massive legal risk with the FTC based off the way the marketing works, but nobody's aware of that. Nobody's aware that this violates FTC marketing. He also is issues with potentially the SEC and defined by what they're going to say about cryptocurrency. He is running an unregistered investment platform. Period. He clearly says profits are becoming from investment activities. At the very least, you should have to be an accredited investor to be able to invest in this platform. At the very least. Let's continue.
It's like, basically, you can read it. It's like the principle from philosophy supposes that exists two explanations for an occurrence. In this case, the one that requires the least speculation is usually the better, talking about deductive reasoning and arguments and stuff. A lot of these guys, they don't have good arguments, unfortunately. And I gotta say, this guy here, Crypto Wealth, seems like a good guy, but he doesn't make a lot of videos on ARB, and he doesn't really explain the inside out of it, the whole thing. He's just speculating, right? But anyways, I wanted to start the video off that way. This is a paid video, but I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't believe what I was saying, so just keep that in mind.
He says this is a paid video. He's clearly in ARB. He mentions that somewhere. And he has an ARB address, and I don't know what he means by that. I don't know if he means that someone sent him. See, that's another interesting thing. So, okay, so he's clearly biased, obviously. He's in ARB, and he might have been paid in addition to an affiliate link. I don't know. So that's fascinating, but it's okay. I mean, listen, he clearly fully believes what he's saying. No, nothing against him. we're all biased. There are no exceptions to that rule. We are all biased. I am as well. But let's just, these are the facts and you decide. He was willing to engage in this video. I think that he talks from a place of logic, although I disagree with his logic, and therefore he deserved a response. And I want to highlight the guy's channel. If you're an ARB, come subscribe to his channel, because there's not many people out there putting out good videos. At least he's putting a video that's biased in your direction. And ultimately, I think he's going to be an asset to the cryptocurrency community, because I think ARB's going to end, but I think he's going to stay. And hopefully he's learned about cryptocurrency and he likes cryptocurrency and he's here to stay, because we need intelligent people in this space. We need fair-minded people in this space. And I think he attempts to be as fair as he can.
Do I owe arbitrage and arbitraging an apology? So I posted this video back on the 27th of December. At the time, they were having some issues, and I had talked about how basically they were creating challenges for, they started changing their exchange, and they were making it difficult to withdraw from the exchange, basically.
Okay, so I already commented on that and why that it makes no sense at all. But let's go forward.
All of a sudden, you got to a place where you could not freely withdraw money from the account, from your account. You couldn't withdraw your ABOT profits. You just had a lot of dashboard money. You couldn't withdraw it. Since then, they did ETH payouts, but you had this fee, and et cetera, et cetera. And I had made a couple videos after this, and it just got worse and worse to withdraw money. And I basically said they were going to exit scam by the 31st. When I said that, when I made this video, I actually thought they may resume somehow, some way to allowing people to withdraw again. I thought that maybe they were going to allow, I had suspected they'll bring back an exchange, people will be able to withdraw like normal, but then, it wasn't going to be able to continue because the price was just going to tank.
Okay, a couple of points here. Firstly, the locking of the ABOTs is a damage control kind of...
That is a problem. That makes no freaking sense. It's a damage control. Can we just go look at something for a moment? And by the way, if most people would have started in ABOT and they would have been told, just so you know, for damage control, we may lock up your investment. I can't imagine one person would have ever gotten in. Not one. Even Climbing Crypto himself. In fact, let's go for a moment. Can we go look at what the arbitraging website says?
Mechanisms.
Hold on.
So that...
So here's the arbitraging website. Now here's the thing. There's not a white paper on here or anything. And I'm under the understanding there used to be a white paper. There's very little info here. Like, there's very little info. There's this whole thing about a license. I don't even want to go there, but the license ended up being fake, and there's all these reasons for why the license was fake. Again, it has got to be the most pathetic run company on the planet, even if eventually they end up being genius developers. It is the most pathetic run company in the existence of mankind, period. I mean, who puts, anyway. So there's no white paper, there's nothing, FAQ, no nothing. If you come to support, they tell you to go to the Telegram group to get most of your questions answered, or you can email. But ABOT, seamless automated arbitrage. We've built a highly advanced arbitraging bot that is capable of working 24 hours a day, creating passive income, doing all the hard work of completing the arbitraging process for you. The margins produced by the ABOT since public inception have averaged around 0.7% a day. By the way, this will get you in trouble with the SEC all day long. It is an operating investment. Without requiring accredited investments, they're not licensed, they're not registered anywhere. That is a huge potential red flag. ABOT has no locks, meaning all users are free to stop their ABOT and remove their trading value at any time they want. That is not correct. That is not correct. He just said they locked it for damage control. No, they locked it without you being aware that they were going to lock it. They didn't warn you and say, hey guys, we're worried about the arbitraging token price for some reason, which they never clearly explain why that even matters ultimately, but we're worried about the trading price. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop the bot. We're going to go ahead and stop the bot for now. If you want to get your money out, go ahead and get it out. No, they stopped it without you knowing about it. If any of you would have known that ahead of time, you would not have ever put your money into the bot. I just fully believe that.
Not everybody can just sell everything at once. It's not because they're putting it there for ready to exit scam. Again, it just makes no sense.
It makes no sense that you can't all sell at once. Why can't you? We could all go sell our Bitcoin at once. Why not? Why does that matter? Why would that matter? I mean, here's the problem. This should not be a token. It should be some sort of investment platform, period. It should not be a token if you're so worried about the price of ARB. I mean, it just makes no sense that somehow that has to affect the trading. Like, I just don't understand it. Let's keep going.
Understand the basic.
Okay, I'm going to stop. I want to move forward. I wasn't trying to listen to the full 6 minutes, but he goes on to say, and I was trying to get to that point, he goes on to say in here at some point that ARB is going to be listed on an exchange. Well, wasn't that what the whole concern about the price? He says that he can't. I think he's about to say it. Let's listen.
Of in and out, input, output, all that backlog of people earning ARBs, if you just say, okay, and you can just sell all your ARBs. And this is actually before the news that we received today about the two major external exchanges that are going to be featuring ARB tokens with pairs for USDT and 4 other pairs included.
Okay, he just goes on. He kind of contradicts himself there a little bit. He talks about you can't go in and out. Now, maybe he was talking about you can't go in and out of ABOT, but then we're going to list ARB on 2 exchanges. And it's 2, that's the news that went out. 2 major exchanges. They didn't say 1 minor exchange, 1 medium exchange, and a major exchange. 2 major exchanges. Let's look at this. I'm about to show you the exchange, and I'm pretty sure you've never heard of it in your life, most of you. Oh, that's not it. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. Have you ever heard of ABCC exchange? Probably not. Most people have never heard of this exchange at all. But now you can buy and sell your ARB, I guess, on this exchange. That's not a major exchange, some Singapore exchange. And I want to say something for a moment. Everybody, he goes on to say, you don't list shitcoins on big exchanges. That's correct, but most exchanges need trading volume. So they're biased to accept a coin first and foremost, unless they have well-established trading volumes. So most of your small exchanges don't require a whole lot to get listed. Let's see if we have any info on this exchange. I'm just curious if we have any, where they're located. Nothing. I can't see. Anti-money laundering. Okay, that's all right. I can't. It's not glaringly obvious where they're located. Someone said something about they were in Singapore. But here's the thing. I was like, what does it take to get listed? Because I know a little bit about. I've watched teams get listed, and I know a little bit about what it takes to get listed on exchanges. The small exchanges simply require you to pay a fee to list. They don't really do due diligence. So I came here, apply to list. What does it take? Okay. You can't see up here what's up here on my address bar. This is Google Forms. This is just a free form to enter in your info. I almost entered in my info just to see if they'd get back to me to see what they tell me. Because I got a feeling it doesn't take a whole lot to get listed. At all. At all. Like, I don't think there's any major due diligence or anything. And I could be wrong, but it's Google Forms. I mean, if you're running a successful exchange producing millions of dollars in revenue, or hundreds of thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars in revenue, would you at least have a more professional website form other than just a Google Forms, which is free to set up? I mean, wouldn't you use something a little more interesting? Okay. You know what? I'm going to enter in. I'm curious. I'm going to enter in this in. I'm pause the video. I want to see if they tell me anything after this. Hang on. Okay, so I went through the next page. This is interesting. Token name, token ticker, short product description, link to latest white paper. Can someone link me in the comments to latest white paper for arbitraging, I would love to see it. Link to Block Explorer, okay. Link to CoinMarketCap. Is Arb on CoinMarketCap right now? I don't even see Arb on CoinMarketCap. So, oh my goodness. It looks like it could have been a pay for play. Who knows? It clearly, I mean, wow. See, something just doesn't make sense. Like, clearly someone had to reach someone through some sort of back channels or whatever, and that could have happened. I mean, it could have happened, but this doesn't make, like, this doesn't instill faith. It just doesn't. All right, let's go on. 922, he said, I want to respond to something. He didn't actually respond to all. He didn't really, there's only a couple main points that he made in this whole thing.
Talk about the bot and stuff like that. But anyways, going ahead, such bots do exist. Also, Arb does have the mbot, which is the proof.
Okay, so he commented here. I didn't actually reply to this. I commented on, I liked all the comments. I didn't reply to this. He says I did, but my name, I don't reply to this anywhere. He says, well, I'm an Arb, but I'm in no way a shield. Just to mention a few points to your video. Indeed, for example, NovaChain's recent video where they showcased their new T-Rex bot, where it completes 90% successful trades daily. Such bots do exist. Also, Arb does have the M-bot, and there's a video of PJ3's channel in which he shows live data from the A-bot. Have you seen that video? Now, it could be argued that it's just some sort of script running in the background just to pull up random numbers as proof. I mean, if David is lying, he will have a heap of legal troubles on him. Absolutely, he will. I fully believe this is where it's headed. As well as the heavy burden of his conscience on innocent, hardworking people whose lives they will put into peril. Just some thoughts. What do you think? Well, first of all, I think he put people's lives in peril when he paused withdrawals altogether over the holidays. I mean, that's nonsense. I mean, he fully knew that that was going to be a problem. Fully knew there were people making public videos about relying on this for their income. Fully aware that people were going to be withdrawing money during the holidays. Fully aware of that. Yet he paused it. So clearly, I don't know. I mean, if you were going to pause it, withdrawals at any point in time, it would not have been just before the holidays. So and he goes on down here to say no one addressed his questions. I don't know what his questions were. I don't see a question here. Do T-Rex bots, do bots exist? Yes, I've already talked about that. 90% successful trades, that's very possible, by the way. I know some methods where you can get 90% successful trades. The problem is the 10% losers typically erase all of the 90% winners. But that's okay. Bots do exist, and bots have been able to work for seasons. I mean, one of the reasons that I'm looking to trade with a bot on a portion of my portfolio is because I know that if you have a way to be able to cut winners, cut losers and scale winners, that it is possible, although risky, for a while, for a few weeks to a few months. As long as the market remains in a pattern, then it is possible for a while to profit from bots. And so I'm definitely looking at using some sort of software at some point in the future. I was just researching a little bit last week. My question is, I don't think Arb exists. I don't think there is any proof of the bot. It's not been proven yet. MBot may very well exist, but MBot is no big deal. Anyone can have a programmable bot. I don't see MBot as being I don't know enough about MBot maybe, but I don't know that there's anything revolutionary in and of itself. I'm looking here. Well, I'm an Arb and there's no way to shield, just to mention a few points on your video. Okay, mention points, but you didn't. He said no one said anything of substance. He didn't ask a question. Have you seen that video? No, I don't care. You answered it right here. It could be argued that it's just some sort of a script. I agree, and I think that's probably most likely the case. If David is lying, he will have a heap of legal troubles, yes. What do you think? I think I agree with you. I think David's going to have a heap of legal troubles, and I think that most likely this was a script of some sort. That is my opinion. You didn't say a whole lot here. There's nothing to actually answer here, but let's keep going. He went to 12.
Gone. Like, this is what I'm talking about. These are assumptions made on a whim. You're just saying he's gone. No backing of evidence or no proof of concept or anything. Just he's gone because I thought he's gone.
Well, that's not correct. There was evidence, circumstantial evidence that proves that David was gone, and there's evidence that proves that he's still gone. He at one point was easily accessible at his house. People came over to visit. He talked about being at his house. People visited his house, and now supposedly he got threatened, which may very well be the case, by the way. So now he's left his house. But when and he since showed back up, my understanding is on Telegram, which, okay, you can operate Telegram from anywhere in the world. But he since showed back up and made some presence. He's been on some live streams, is my understanding. But at the time that I said this, he had been gone. Nobody had seen him. So talking after the fact, it's not an assumption. Two YouTubers in particular, Digital Coins and Bits Away One, which are both pro ARB YouTubers, were talking about what happened to David. Where did he go? Basically, why has he left us? Who's this Thomas Brown guy, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't mysteriously, just imagine this. He clearly went and laid a low profile, and arguably he still has a lower profile. I get the biased opposing viewpoint is that he needs to have that because people have threatened him and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I get it. That might be the case, but there's also an opposing viewpoint. Let's look at both sides. There clearly is opposing viewpoint. And I'll give it to you. I can't prove you're right, and you can't prove I'm wrong. However, at the same time, I feel like there's circumstantial evidence. Number one being that you cannot unlock your ABOT, and that makes no sense. You cannot freely withdraw from this platform at all. And it is not 100% clear what's going on. But let's keep going. Now, by the time you watch this video, maybe they will allow ABOT withdrawals. But I think that this thing is, I literally think, I'm trying to figure out how David's going to exit. I've become more fascinated in this project now because I'm looking at how is he going to make an exit. I actually think that he already attempted to exit. I think that he thought maybe people would forget about it and move on, but ARB got too big, that there's too many people. No one's forgotten about it. No one's been like, oh, well, that sucks. I think that he's trying to figure out how to move on, and it's not successfully worked. So I suspect that we will eventually see a bot. Here's the latest thought that I have. We will eventually see a bot, but I'm willing to bet you if you back test the strategies of that bot, that it's not going to line up with the earnings and the rewards that Arbitrage Inc got or has paid out. So my guess is we'll eventually see a bot, and I think that we're going to see that the bot stops performing, and I think we're ultimately going to see the token price go down, 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 down. So it's going to look like people have $10,000 or $20,000 or $100,000 in dashboard money, but when they go to cash out, they're not going to get that. Very similar to how BitConnect exited. That's just a guess. I don't know that. That is me just guessing because I'm trying to figure out what is the most feasible way for him to go away. I think the SEC's investigating him, and I think ultimately that's going to that may be his downfall first. But those investigations can take a long time. But that's just my guess. I could be wrong.
No one said he's gone. No one had proof that he put on a fedora and a fake mustache and flew to frickin' Brazil. I don't know.
I don't know. We do have proof by his own admission that he faked who he was the entire time. I mean, he could have always chosen to be anonymous. He chose to be public and to fake his name and his identity. And then there were people who called out that and said, hey, his name's not David Peterson. And the ARB community said that's FUD. And then he come out and said, hey, my name's not David Peterson. And then all of a sudden, bias kicks in, and it's like, well, it makes total sense that he didn't use his real name. It's just bias one way or another.
I mean, there's no proof there. So again, when someone is looking, when you're trying to inform people on something that is actually very important to them, and you just make these kind of at a whim remarks, people are going to be like, and most people are going to be, maybe some of the backlash you get on your videos is because of that.
Okay, let me just clarify this. I do these videos because they do amazing things for my channel. Please, ARB community, unlike the shit out of it. Please, downvote it all you can. You simply do not understand the YouTube algorithm. Please comment. Give me all the hate you want on my channel. I almost beg for it. The only reason I don't like it is because I hate seeing that. I feel like people are getting so duped and they get so emotional. He said here, when you talk about something that's important to people, yes, it is important to people because they've invested into it. That is absolutely correct. I'm not worried about the hate on my channel because by and large, I'm hoping that, it does good things for my channel. That's the truth. And the reason I'm commenting on this is hopefully to do good things for your channel and my channel. You know, I mean, I have a much larger subscriber base than you do, but I like, you know, I kind of like your tone. I like what how you approach this. So I want to see your channel do well. No matter the size of your channel, if I like what you're doing on your channel, I'm going to promote it. I'm going to talk about it. So, you know, this video is for you, Crypto Climbing Crypto, whatever your name is. This video is for you. So I'm not worried about the backlash, and I'm not worried about the haters. You get them. I mean, it's just, you know, you can say the sky is blue, and if you got a popular enough channel, someone's going to call you an idiot and say, no, it's turquoise. Yeah, it's just the way that it is. So it is what it is. But I get that people are passionate about this. That's why I get views. That's why people watch this channel when I talk about arbitraging. And I try not to talk about it a little bit. I mean, the reason I've never wanted my channel to be all about this. And now that I've talked about arbitraging, I've had several people say, hey, review this, review that, review this. No. I don't really want to get into that space. The thing that provoked me the most about arbitraging was a buddy of mine who's in Arb right now. He said, look, he said, you know, they're implementing this change and that change, and each one of the changes were incrementally making it more difficult to get your money out freely. And go Google rev shares, go Google Zeek rewards, go Google traffic monsoon, go Google, you know, my paying ads, my paying crypto ads. I mean, there's several of them. I mean, these things come around, many of them last week, some last months. But they all use the word sustainability. It's all these platforms where, you know, invest $100 in advertising, you end up getting paid out 120%, and the 20% is supposed to come from company growth, but then it doesn't make any sense, and mathematically they're all designed to fail, and they all take steps similar to this. You know, you can only you know, withdraw 75% of your earnings, your daily earnings, and it's all about trying to keep the platform sustainable, which is what I'm seeing all of a sudden. And it's like, oh, buddy, this is a problem. And almost every move, I will say when they went back to the exchange and they allowed people to withdraw their ARB on the platform that's not an ABOT, that was cool to see. Like, that's cool. That was super cool. And if David ends up becoming an angel, and ultimately the SEC, you know, looks at this and, you know, if the FCC never comes out, if a year or two this thing is still running and all of a sudden people are buying and selling the ARB token like crazy, and, you know, man, that will be beautiful. That is not a bad thing at all. That will be awesome. But none of the steps that are happening, if you're unbiased, you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. And even when they were like, all of a sudden, okay, you can, the new exchange is back, but you can't get your ABOT tokens out at all. Oh, that does not feel good. Like that part's a problem. And anyway, I wonder if if they're letting you guys withdraw your ABOT tokens freely now, you can withdraw 100% of them. Let me know. If you can withdraw any of them, let me know. Someone said that you could withdraw a percentage. I'm not sure about that, but I would love to know about it. And if you can withdraw a percentage, then that's, like, I guess, a step in the right direction. But that sounds just like all those other scammy platforms that I just mentioned in the past that have been around for several years. Some of them grew far larger than arbitraging in a sheer dollar amount, and they eventually collapsed. But let's go a little further here. His next. He goes on to say here that Thomas G is a developer and he has a right, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he is a developer, but he came out of nowhere. They said he's a developer. We don't know who he is, but he came out of nowhere all of a sudden. Bitsaway1 even mentioned a problem with it. Let's go down here to, probably this is a long video, but come check out this guy's channel, especially if you're an ARB.
Occam's razor, okay? An exit scam. Again, it's kind of like flogging a dead horse. Like, obviously there's some cognitive bias that is going on here.
Absolutely, on both sides. Again, who would have put their money in this platform knowing that without warning it could be frozen and you couldn't get your original investment out? I love when I hear people say, I think it was Bitsaway1 who said, hey, hopefully they'll just let me get out my daily earnings. You know, that'd be at least something. Yeah, I guess that you're going to be happy with that. Yeah, I guess you're going to be happy with that since you can't get nothing out. But the reality is you'd probably never put nothing in if you knew that at some point your investment was going to be locked. That goes against what's on the ARB website right now. The problem with that is there's new people investing in this platform right now unaware that as soon as you buy into ABOT, that money's locked. They're not going to get that information anywhere. There's no pop-up that comes up when they go to invest in ARB that I've been aware of. Anybody said anything about? And if I'm wrong, let me know. If there's a pop-up that comes up or some sort of warning, hey, once you put your Ethereum in ARB or once you put your ARB tokens in the ABOT, then those tokens are locked and you're not going to get them out. Is that coming up yet? And if it's not, you have to ask yourself, why? Isn't that what a reputable company would do? If they're not exit scammed, then in my opinion, they're currently exit scamming. And I think they've been in the exit scam process for quite a while. All right, let's go on next. 17.
Scam characteristic to it. Okay? So that's the thing. And they just left. Most of them were scams. But this ultimately does not have an exit scam characteristic to it. Okay? So that's the thing. It's like, call a spade a spade.
That's not true. Let's call a spade a spade. Again, he's very unaware of how exit scams have occurred in the past. Not everything went away like BitConnect, and this may go away similar to BitConnect eventually by devaluing the token. I don't know that for sure. But the fact that they're locking in your money is exactly what a lot of exit scams do. The fact that they require a required reinvestment or a holdback of profits, like 25% or 50% or 40%, like you know, that is exactly what exit scams do. The fact that you can never prove exactly how they're supposed to be making the money that they're making is exactly what exit scams do. This isn't the first time. So many Ponzi schemes have existed just like this, exactly like this. So I disagree by my own, you know, Oscar Ramsey, whatever he called it. I'm being funny, but by my own bias, I disagree. And I believe that if you're neutral, and you're looking at this platform and you hear what I'm saying and you listen to what he's saying, I think you have to say, okay, maybe wealth isn't right, but neither is the other guy. Like, I feel uneasy. Something's not 100% clear here. And you'd be exactly right. That's the problem. There's something not 100% clear here.
Spade. They're here. They're working. They're now going on exchanges. And these big exchanges.
Big exchanges. Come on. That's not a big exchange. Nope. If you'd have listed 10 exchanges, then and this was number 10, I don't think anyone would have chose this as their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, eighth, or ninth option. That's just, I could disagree with it. If I wanted to bring credibility to my token, I wouldn't want it listed here. So let's go down. 17. One more mark here.
So that proves my point. You really don't follow it. You're not privy to the information. You're just speculating on the outside with holes. Maybe.
Okay, so he says I'm not privy to the information. I don't hang out in the Telegram groups. He goes on to say that. He's correct. I shouldn't have to. If I'm a potential investor, I should just be able to go to the website. But even the website is not factually accurate, even based off the understanding that we currently have the nature of ARB. He talks about I'm just going to the YouTube videos. Yes, he's correct, because I'm not going to go hang out in Telegram channels. The guys who post Telegram looks like a cesspool of nonsense. The other issue is this. David Peterson is very well in my videos. I have no doubt about it, because so many of the other major ARB people are here. He is more than welcome to comment and straighten out anything, provide proof of anything on my channel, period. End of story. Because people used to always say, go talk to David. No one's ever been able to show me proof of an ABOT at all. And the other thing is, not only do I not go to Telegram groups, but when I do go to YouTube, I typically, if I want to know something, I go to the YouTubers that are pro-ARB. That makes sense. Like, if you're trying to get their perspective, that's where you need to go. That's where I go. That is, look, the YouTubers, and I could name names that are negative on ARB, I don't watch the majority of their videos because it's the same thing over and over again, just like my videos that talk about ARB. It's the same points made over and over again that nobody can refute. And so they're just not exciting. But when there's something going on, I go to 2 or 3 or 4 of the pro-ARB YouTubers to see what they're saying. And if they're disagreeing, if they have a concern, then it's like, that's interesting. I mean, these are supposed to be the biggest. It's been pointed out that they've been paid, just like he says he's been paid, Climbing Crypto. They've been paid for their reviews in some cases. So, yeah, of course I go to YouTube. What customers would go all into Telegram to, anyway. All right, let's go to.
Again, where you're wrong. There is plenty of information on the Telegram groups. There are multiple Telegram groups that anybody can join, and if you have the propensity to really understand what's going on, you can spend the day there catching information as it comes in from pertinent people, right?
Who's going to do that? Who's going to spend the day in a Telegram group? Maybe you could argue that's what they should do if they're doing their due diligence. But I would argue that that information should be far more available and readily. Anyway, the bottom line is there's a lot of questions that aren't being answered and that can be answered right now by anybody. Yes, I am biased at this point against this platform. I don't like it. I don't think it does good things for the people that are in it. And I think it's scary for the people that are in it. I would encourage you to get your money out whenever you can. I would encourage you not to put any money in. Don't feel bad. If the arbitraging bot exists, you'll have a chance to get back in later. And if the arbitraging bot exists, you cannot hurt the community by pulling out. This nonsense about you're hurting the community if you pull your funds out, only if it's a Ponzi scheme. That's the only way you're hurting the community. Otherwise, arbitraging bot should actually function better with less people being in because there's less slippage. There's more opportunity available in the markets because when there's a smaller pool of money to invest, but that's more complicated than this video needs to be. The bottom line is this. I respect the fact that he made this video, and I respect the fact that it wasn't about a personal attack. He is right. I am biased. I'm capable of being proven wrong, and I hope that I am ultimately proven wrong. But I think, as every occurrence happens, it feels from my biased perspective that I'm just getting proven right over and over again. The block exchange happened. Yep, that's not good. And that made it more difficult for people to get out. The block exchange got fixed because people complained, but it didn't get fixed. It just became a new iteration, and it still was complicated, arguably more complicated. And then the new Explorer comes out, so now we can buy and sell our ARB token supposedly on the new exchange, but then they just locked up ABOT completely. The flagship product doesn't work except with dashboard money. You cannot profit from the flagship product at this point in time, is my understanding. And that may have changed, and it may change in the future. But my guess is if it does change, they're going to be limited on what they can pull out. They're going to be limited. Why? Because I don't think the money's there. Now, let me just say, I will say this. I don't know where this comes from. I almost forgot this. I want to give credit where credit's due. He does show this number here, and supposedly he wasn't clear at first, but
so I'm going to leave it there so far. So this is the amount, right? This is the received amount, and this is the address, the receiving address, okay? This is the amount that's gone out. And I'll leave the link.
So he's saying that this is the amount that they've sent out, total amount of Ethereum that sent out, 281,000 Ethereum went out, is what he's saying.
At the bottom of the video,
but it says received. See, this doesn't make sense. He's trying to say this is the total amount of Ethereum that's went out.
You can look for yourself. These are all of the addresses that have gone out.
Hang on a minute. He's trying to say this is the amount of Ethereum that's went out. Where's it at? And he's trying to say that where's it at? Let me go look. He said he posted a link below. Bloxy deposit address. Withdrawal address. Let's take a look at this. I think it's awesome because Bloxy actually came out. Another guy made it popular that was anti-ARB, and now all of a sudden ARB people are using it. That's funny. So this is supposed to be the ARB deposit address. So this is the ARB deposit address. It said 1,000 ARB deposited. And he's saying this is the withdrawal address. And it's what am I missing here? So I think he's saying balance. This is the deposit address. I think he's trying to say this is the deposit address and this is what's been paid out. I mean, if that's correct, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I know there's some of you guys that are much smarter about this stuff than I am. If that's correct, then that looks good. It looks like it's paid out far more than it's taken in. I'm not so certain that these addresses are correct. I mean, we've got to take their word on it. It shows here they've received more ARB than they've paid out. It shows here they've received more ETH than they paid out by like 1,000 ETH. I mean, if I'm looking at this, then I'll say that's the most positive thing that he's posted. And it's hard to argue with Ethereum, the blockchain. It's hard to argue with the blockchain. We see some money moving. We don't see exactly what's happening. See, there should be a whole bunch of microtransactions occurring all over the place. If arbitraging is happening, there should be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of microtransactions that's occurred over the past, so many months. And we've not seen any proof of that. In fact, 50 times, 55 times, 91 times, these are such low, pathetic numbers. Like, this should be massive. There should be arbitraging activities taking place every day. Keep in mind, this thing's pulling in 0.7% a day. There should be massive, massive arbitraging happening somewhere on some address. But we're not seeing any proof of that. But if these addresses are correct, and if this is the withdrawal and the deposit address, and these are accurate, and I'm looking at it right, and I can't tell that I am, so someone can clarify for me, then yes, we should see more Ethereum getting paid out than is coming in. Someone else smarter than me can confirm in the comments or if I'm seeing that correct or not. But thank you so much for watching this video. And again, if you are in the arbitraging community, come check out Climbing Crypto, subscribe to his channel, hit the bell notification icon. I'm not going to follow yet because I don't want any more arbitraging clogging up my feed, but I will come back to check out his channel, especially if something happened to arbitrages. Either we get proven that there is an ABOT or we find out that there's not. Either way, I'm going to come back and keep an eye on his channel because I think he provides value to cryptocurrency space. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a long video. If you've made it to the end, you are extraordinary. Thanks for watching.